All right, we're going to welcome you back to the Principals Podcast. It's been a while since we got the gang back together for an official podcast. A lot of it is due to the high achievement for all students we've been up to, a lot of meetings and activities. We did have just a personal one last week where we were talking about homecoming, but today we're getting back on track. Hopefully, Miss Pavizek can join us. She's covering for our class. Always, I have Mr. Hyam. How are you?
Doing great. How's Topper Nation out there?
I think we are actually getting some well-needed rain here in Northeast Ohio, which is very rare to say out of our mouths. But it's been relatively a nice, crisp, cool day with a little side of rain. Joining us today is not Tim Hurlbutt. Let's get that corrected. It is one of the Giddings. It is Clara Giddings. Clara, how are you?
Good. How are you?
As always, we're doing wonderful. Claire's joining us today because it's capstone season. Many people ask, what are capstones? The state of Ohio has graduation requirements, and it includes, very simply, 20 credits mandatory by the state. It also includes passing the Algebra 1 end of course exam and the ELA 2, along with getting a local seal and a state seal. State seal, they earn in 8th grade called Ohio Means Jobs, and then they can earn additional seals through all of their testing. The local seals are called capstone projects. And so because we are in the season of capstones and in the season of fall, it's a perfect time to start talking about this project. And you are going to be doing the Sub-Zero project, where we've done this here before through the AHLI. And now you are going to take control of it, manage it, run it, and do some localized and then some community-driven initiatives for this project. So, number one, could you explain to every listener what this project's all about?
Okay, so Sub-Zero was founded by some Marine veterans that just simply donated sleeping bags like back in 2009 to homeless veterans. And they have grown over the time to expand not from Lake County, but all the way to like Erie and Pittsburgh and basically Northeast Ohio, where the snow is really bad. And it just donates back to homeless veterans with a bunch of cold gear because it's really bad winters lately. Not lately, but there has been very bad winters.
So that's a great project with a great purpose and intention. And as a senior, what are you going to be doing within this project? How can we learn more, as we just learned more about the project? How can we learn more about what we can do to assist you with your project?
I have already several boxes set up at the local VFW and at Ohio Ordnance Works, which is just like a manufacturing company. But I'm going to collect like 36 items is my goal or more. And I just want to give back because I've grown up in a strong like military environment my whole life. So it just feels nice to give back to those who have served us and helped us out.
What are some things that we are allowed to bring to your bins?
So they call it the Stay Alive 5, which is just like new socks, gently used jackets or gently used boots, tents and sleeping bags, but any like cold gear item really. And it doesn't really matter the size, but they like to collect like men's large through 4XL for clothes. And I'm pretty sure like size 9 through 13 for the shoes.
That's very helpful and very specific, and we appreciate that. So there are going to be bins in our building. There's bins in our community businesses. Are there going to be bins in any other of our schools? Or
I was looking to set one up at the high school. I just don't know exactly where yet.
Okay, that's good. Well, the first thing is to proactively communicate about this. So the podcast is a great start. Creating a flyer is step number 2, so that we can have it communicated that way. And then it's about promotion. So when we have these opportunities, as an example, what is your timeline? Because I'm saying, what is your, as an example, like we have a football game so that Mr. Herner could possibly read something. You might have a bin there. but if we proactively communicate this stuff, you're going to surpass your goal. What's your timeline? When are you going to have bins? I know you have bins established elsewhere, but when are you going to have bins here? And then when is your due date for your project?
I'm gonna look to collect from like about now till right after like Thanksgiving break, so I can give them back by the 1st of December.
Do you have anyone working with you on this project?
No, it's just me.
Small but mighty. That is great. So when you get all these things, do you have to do any special organization of these items? Where do you take these items? Like, how does that all work?
I'm still like looking into it, but I've been communicating with their like social media manager, and she dropped the boxes off at my house, and then I'm most likely gonna bring her all my items I collect or bring them to the Sub-Zero headquarters, which I think is in like Painesville.
So this is going to help serve Northeast Ohio veterans in need.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's been amazing. And I just want to tell all of our listeners that Miss Giddings here is not in 8th grade. We had her in 8th grade. And she does have her beautiful Snow White voice. But she has one of the highest achievers in our building. She's taking how many college credit plus courses over the last couple of years?
I started in 8th grade with the Intro to Business class with Mr. Herner, and I've done English, I've done government, right now I'm doing public speaking, and I've done environmental science.
Question for you. Will you be able to use this podcast as a means for one of your projects? Because you often have to record yourself and then submit something. So could this be used as one of your like assignments?
Yeah, most likely. I think so, actually.
That's very good.
I
So
better bring my best performance then, Mr. Murray.
yeah, you better ramp it up because Mr. Hyam was already confused when he saw Timothy Hurlbut and he saw a smaller version of Mr. Hurlbut and Clara. But he always has an opportunity for you to have no idea what the questions are. So over the last 5 years, it has gone from Kahoots that he has created on the spot during the pandemic to asking questions that are related to like just generally what the context of our conversation is, to this or that, to would you rather do one of these things or do one of those things? So this was just written live. I don't even know who's going to ask. So Mr. Hyam, I'm passing the torch.
Well, I appreciate that. We're going to do a little would you rather. And it's, we have a winter theme because I'm taking it Sub-Zero means it's going to be cold. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, use a little math there. A little math kind of helped me to know that it was cold. So let's get right to the point. Would you rather wear wet mittens or have wet socks for a day?
Probably socks. Because I could wear like Ugg boots.
Okay. So, this is going to be a tough one. Would you rather wear a swimsuit all winter long or a snowsuit all summer long? Oh, see, we're making you think here, my senior friend.
Well, I want to go to Florida for college, so I could wear a swimsuit all winter and it would be acceptable.
That's why she's at the top of our class, Mr. Murray, because she just blew up my question and pivoted on me and made me look like the silly one.
She also swims in this winter, right, for the team?
Yeah.
So she's used to the swimming suit.
Yeah, true. Would you rather sit by a warm fire in a cabin or go ice skating on a frozen pond?
Ice skating. I love to ice skate.
And where's your favorite place to go ice skating?
I usually I like the Cleveland outside arena, but I usually just go to the Menor Ice Arena because it's bigger.
Yeah, true. And you're an animal person, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So you like to make friends with animals, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would you rather make friends with a wild polar bear or a crazy penguin?
Penguin.
But what if they're crazy?
It's okay because they'd be like in happy feet. They just dance.
Okay, so when you're out there ice skating, are you going to catch those snowflakes with your tongue, or are you going to eat icicle popsicles?
I like catching snowflakes.
How many do you think you catch every time?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay. So you're going to meet someone famous, okay, this time of year. So do you want to meet Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman? They're both famous. I mean, we sing about them, we read about them. Which one would you rather meet?
I'd rather meet Rudolph.
Rather meet Rudolph. And in the spirit, I'm going to leave you with this spirit of over and unders, because we kind of tied things in at times. Over under, do you think you'll collect 50 items once all this publicity gets out there and a great community of Chardon reaches out?
I think I'll collect over. Since I've already have boxes set up, I already have like 20 items.
Look at that, Mr. Murray. She might
right.
not need us to advertise, but then again, only our parents watch this podcast. So, you and I will have to dig deep into our wallets to help support this.
Oh, we have our means to certainly help her, just probably by looking at all of the things that we have such great philanthropy in our building. Miss Blackburn has so many connections to the outside resources. We have a lot of people that they donate literally items that have tags on them to our Chardon Boutique. So we have a lot of kids that are certainly very much giving. We're at a point in the podcast where you can give the opportunity for shout outs. So Clara, we're going to start with you. Who's someone this week that you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my dad because he's really helped me with this project. And that's been my main focus this week, actually, has been collecting items from boxes I've set up. And since we both work at Ohio Ordnance, he's just been really helpful lately with senior stuff.
That's awesome. Mr. Heim, you have someone you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to the homecoming committee. I will tell you, I think it was probably the best year we had with the floats. The students really stepped it up, their game with the floats. I thought at one point we're at the Rose Bowl parade, but then, I checked. It was wasn't as pretty with the roses, but the students really stepped up on that. And I'll tell you, it was a great homecoming dance. The students had a lot of fun, and I really think they enjoyed the night. So all of our friends out there that made homecoming possible for our students, thank you.
Yeah, I concur. And I think you would also agree with me to give shout out to our teachers, specifically the work that they've been doing with grading practice policies that we're trying to do, extraordinary conversations that we're trying to become calibrated. And second of all, Mr. Heim and I know that we observed the same lessons this week in ELA, and it just reiterates when we say we earned a 4.5 out of 5 star, and we showed so much growth in 1 year. It just reiterates with evidence how awesome and dynamic our teachers are. So shout out to the teachers we observed this week. They know who they are. They were amazing. Lockstep and key, the same lesson, collaborative PLC, awesome job. So we're looking forward to more of that as we continue throughout the year. Clara, it's always wonderful to see you. You're always shining, whether you're wearing Pacific or not. It is always great to have a conversation with you. And I will already answer the question. No, we do not have candy. You always like to ask for candy. So again, we're going to communicate this out. Sub-Zero project effective immediately. It's giving back to our veterans that have served in such a great capacity and providing them the opportunity to stay warm and safe throughout this year. And make us a flyer. We can get it out. We can communicate this, make a morning announcement so that Ms. Fullerman can read it, and we can continue to communicate that. And then we'll submit this all out in the week in reflection. Is there any final thoughts there, Ms. Giddings?
Nope.
Nope. Then as always, And go Toppers.
Go Toppers.